Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing...
In this bulletin, not boarding school receive rations, action plan to stop human trafficking, and decline in blue lane yards is expected.
The studios of FBC Suva.
Several boarding schools in Vanuatu received food ration and non-food items as well as boarding materials from government yesterday. Minister for Disaster Management Inia Seriratu says the items are part of several donations given to them and they have repacked them to be given to boarding schools. Elona Turangai viewed with this report.
Food and boarding materials, items much needed by boarding schools which are still recovering from the devastation caused by tropical cyclone Yasa in December.
Towels and the blankets are from the Indonesian government, and that's the mosquito nets from the Australians. So that will be very useful for them. Plus the hand sanitizers that were given to us by Paradise Beverage.
Prime Minister Barengem Bainimarama handed over the first lot of packs to Lekutu District School, which has 37 boarding students, all of whom are from Tavia Island and are being accommodated in tents.
We are so fortunate today. Thank you very much for the kind assistance.
Also receiving the packs is Waimbunumbuna Primary School in Lekutu, which has 11 boarding students who come from remote villages. Nambala Secondary School in Nanduri, Maduata also received school kits donated by the New Zealand government along with food packs and beddings. The school has 33 boarders.
I wanted to thank the Honourable Prime Minister and his team for visiting the school and for kindly donating the food rations for our hostel students and also all the kits and the other items that have been given to us today.
More boarding students are expected to receive food ration supply along with boarding materials as the Prime Minister continues his tour of the cyclone and flood affected schools in the Northern Division. Eleanor Turangai View, FBC News.
The continuing impact of COVID-19 has exacerbated the threats and prevalence of human trafficking in the world, including Fiji. Launched its first ever national anti-human trafficking strategy and revised national action plan yesterday that will help solve this growing problem. Correctional reports.
Trafficking in persons, especially women, affects all countries regardless of social, political or economic circumstances.
Human trafficking is a multifaceted, complex and dynamic social phenomenon which makes it very difficult to ascertain with certainty its existence and prevalence.
Trafficking of human beings does not respect borders, and it is one of the worst forms of violence that impinges on fundamental human rights.
The formulation of this strategy and the action plan is the first step in addressing this modern form of slavery. However, the main challenge now is its implementation.
Only when we do this can we ensure that the victims of trafficking are protected and the perpetrators and criminal networks that orchestrate this degrading transnational crime are disrupted, prosecuted, and appropriately penalized.
This region needs to fight human trafficking, which is a cause which is very often overshadowed by other priorities.
The launch of the National Anti-Human Trafficking Strategy and Action Plan aims to address domestic cases of human trafficking and international ones as well. It also aims to address the cases of transnational crimes and prevent it from happening at our borders. Koritan Dolala, FBC News.
While 96 yachts arrived at Port Donarong Marina under the Blue Lane Initiative last year, this may not be the same last year. The Blue Lane Initiative was introduced in last July in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Pranita Prakash has more.
The increase in COVID-19 cases and lockdown measures in New Zealand and other Pacific countries is expected to impact the arrival of yachts this year.
It's really difficult to say if we're going to have a huge uptake with vessels. The border closures are also a variable. We don't have any control over. So French Polynesia has closed their borders. There's a possibility that many of those vessels will make their journey out to us, or they may just return off to US or to Europe.
Under the Blue Lane initiative, yachts and pleasure crafts are accepted into Port Denarau in Nandi once they meet all the criteria, including a 14-day quarantine at sea.
We have not deterred, nor have we changed in our stance in terms of people coming into the country, whether it's via the sea or whether it's via air or whatever it is. You know, we're being very stringent about it.
Port Denarau officials have increased their marketing.
At this moment, what the industry is doing actually is promoting, marketing very, very strongly out there that Fiji is open in terms of the blue lanes. Fiji maritime borders are open to receive cruises and super yachts.
An estimated $10 million was injected into the economy through the initiative by October last year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Ministry of Employment, Police and Fiji Human Rights Commission is investigating a case where 49 Bangladeshi workers claim to have been scammed by a local poultry company. Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Defense, Manasa Lesuma, admits these are serious allegations that includes breach of contract, physical assault and unknown payments. Kelly Vadala reports the company Ram Sami and Sons Limited has denied the allegations, saying the recruitment of the workers was done properly.
These foreign workers are under the spotlight after raising concerns of unfair treatment by their employer Ram Sami and Sons Limited, with Human Rights investigating the matter as an alleged human trafficking case. Relevant authorities are thoroughly going through all details.
But it's a serious issue, and it's an issue that we probably need to address if there is some, if in fact what they're claiming is actually true.
One of the workers, Mohammed Dulal, claims his employer did not honor the pay stated in their contract and they were not given the work prescribed to them.
I signed a contract to come work as senior carpenter, but instead I'm doing a handyman's job.
Ram Sami and Sons director Correctional Sami has strongly refuted the allegations.
We have got our own justifications, and we know from Ram Sami we haven't done anything wrong, and we will just cooperate.
The company has also refuted allegations of seizing the workers' passports.
Some things are wrongly stated there, that passports are seized. The company has evidence.
The Human Rights Commission says it has evidence to support the Bangladeshi workers' allegations against Ram Sami and its consultant.
They have alleged they've been locked in a particular room and forced to sign documents. And I can confirm to everybody listening to the news this evening that I have recordings, voice recordings of the local recruiter.
The company claims the workers are still employed and they're willing to have open discussion with relevant authorities and reach a mutual solution. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, in a statement late yesterday afternoon, Ram Sami and Sons, through its lawyers, refuted all allegations of being engaged in human trafficking. The company lawyers say they've been employing skilled and unskilled nationals from Bangladesh since 2018 and the recruitment is done in a transparent and lawful manner. They've also denied claims of asking of payment of $13,000 from the Bangladeshi nationals. The lawyers also say the allegations that their passports have been confiscated are all false. It also refutes allegations of physical abuse and violations of employment contract. Treating non-communicable diseases are one of the major challenges faced by medical officers in correctional facilities. With the number one of NCD cases increasing, nursing officer for the Suva Correction Center, Riha Devendra, says this puts pressure on them as they also have to take care of elderly inmates. 13% of current Fiji Correction Service inmates are over the age of 50, and Devendra says some suffer from NCDs. To help address the issue, the Correction Center has partnered with the Red Cross to train its medical personnel.
100 known medical cases, so 100 patients with known medical conditions. A lot of their physical ailment comes from their mental issues, psychiatric issues. So that's why, fortunately, we have counselors. But like I said, it's the sheer volume.
Successful personnel have completed, will enhance their professional knowledge and their skill sets in going about in their daily responsibilities in looking after those under our care.
The Suva High Court has struck out the matter brought forward by former Naitasiri under-19 lock Keresi Maya against the Fiji Rugby Union. Maya took the matter to the court claiming the proper processes were not followed when he was handed a 6-year ban from all levels of rugby. He allegedly punched referee Penny Talemai Vavalangi during the under-19 match between Naitasiri and Tailevu on August 29th last year. The High Court struck out the matter, stating that it was an abuse of the process. Up ahead, Vakatawa awarded Europe Midi Olympic Player of the Year, and Secondary Schools Athletics Association work on 2021 Fiji Finals. Stay with us.
Oira na ngone no ndai nuni ena bisi ni mataka.
Mersi sungi da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitaro bina nona bangsa ngai ka wala loma taki na ngone. Dala bina oya o meliki.
Bulre oya o Samuel Samuli.
Nama kikira ena be mataka.
Boniti kena magrombuka.
Ni boy tiri kalima na miniti me ono kina tiri na kaloko. Ena Radio Fiji One na ndomo ibiti.
Indaw kina na mataka. Dan ramai na singabo.
Fiji-born Virimi Vakatawa has won the 2020 Oscar Europe Midi Olympic Player of the Year award. The racing 92-star center had been showcasing a sparkling performance in the Heineken Champions Cup last season. Rugby Rama is reporting on its website that Vakatawa beat the most defenders in the Six Nations tournament last year. The 28-year-old is rated as one of the best centers in the world. Davis Kurosawa says being called up to play for the Ulunkau Sevens senior team means more pressure on him, but he is ready for it. The 20-year-old transitioned from the Ulunkau under-20s to the senior team at the Uprising Sevens 2 weeks ago and is now enjoying the new challenges. Karalini Tavi has more.
After his experience at the Uprising Sevens, Davis Kurosawa now wants to continue with the senior team and see where it takes him.
So when I transit from under-20 to the big team, something I had to try my very best to is to make my skill level as high as the senior team.
The Lavoni Oneilau native says he plans to improve his personal rugby proficiency and be a boost to the team.
Playing against bigger teams, my progress is my main goal. So I don't. The result is a bonus for us if we get good results, but I'll focus mainly on our progress as a team and individually as well.
After bowing out of the quarterfinals at the Uprising Sevens tournament last weekend, Ulunkau will be coming in a much stronger side starting Friday.
We are working on our weaknesses from the last two tournaments from Uprising 2, and we saw some weaknesses in our team. Most of this is some of them are new to this sevens tournament.
The Super 7 Series 2 begins Friday at Prince Charles Park in Nadi. Currently in 8th place, Ulunkau is in Pool A with Police Blue, Fire and the BLK Stallions. Karalini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association has made it clear that any player joining the new club this season is eligible to play any tournament irrespective of their status in the team. Critics on social media have questioned why new players joining the districts are being given a chance to play for the team just weeks into joining. Chief Executive Mohammad Yusuf says if transfer applications are approved, the players have the right to play in any tournament for their new team.
This is the answer to those critics, that anybody who has been transferred or is arising of the transfer window opportunity for both teams are eligible to represent those teams.
The Fiji Secondary Schools Athletics Association is not leaving any stones unturned after receiving the green light to host the 2021 Fiji Finals. The Ministry of Education has outlined certain protocols that the association must follow while holding competitions. FSSAA President Vuliwanga says participants and fans will expect something different.
As part of our protocol is that even our equipment will have to be sanitized, so they'll have to be cleaned every time one uses it. That is not done in the advert sport, but for us, that is one of the protocols we'll do.
Mostly fine conditions will prevail over most parts of the country today. There is a slight chance of scattered showers by the late afternoon. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही है।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।